What's up, YouTube? You're with BudgetMonk119, and I'm just starting a game here as the nation of Brandenburg. Gonna do some quick fluffy stuff here before we get started, but the intention of this video is to demonstrate, let's go one over our force limit here. It is to demonstrate some things which may not exactly be at the forefront of your attention involving the Humiliate Rival CB. I'm going to go ahead and take Anhalt and Mecklenburg as rivals. And our third option, yeah, let's go for Pomerania as well. The last thing I will do here is actually roll a general from our estate, which has 2 shock, 1 siege. Good enough, pretty poorly rolled there, but good enough to get the job done, I suspect. And one thing of interest about the Humiliate Rival CB is how early you have access to it. Now, with the exception of taking a mission, you cannot fabricate claims and therefore get CVs at the first day, which in this case is the 11th of December, or usually is the 11th of December. And for that reason, in some cases like this, we can declare on Anhalt, for example, before, I'm going to send an insult to Pomerania here, who is our rival, up to 16 power projection, before he can make any allies. Now I suspect outnumbering 2 to 1 with our 2 shock, we should, there we go. Got a nice trait there on our general. Stack wipe Anhalt. Now that is something that you could not do, of course, with a traditional CB. But on the 11th of January, 1 month later, we can see that Mecklenburg has Verdun as an ally. Interesting, but that is it. I am actually going to go straight into war with him as well. Now, outnumbering him 8.5 to 5. He actually has 1 shock, although we have -1 to rolls. That looks like a stack wipe as well. Now, if we did not stack wipe him there, what would most likely happen is he would retreat to Wismar, and we would actually stack wipe him in Wismar soon after that. So let's have a look here. I've got 6.3, whereas Verdun has 5k, and looks like it should be easy enough to bait him in here. And he actually receives -1 to roll there. Not quite a stack wipe this time around, but I assure you it soon will be. So let us stack wipe him here and sit on his capital city. Let's go ahead and begin sieging down each fort of each nation that is involved in this war. Now I am 1 over my force limit, unfortunately having quite a detrimental effect on our manpower, and for that reason I am going to go ahead and consolidate here quite heavily to be at least under our force limit, and I will just reinforce the old-fashioned way, as it is a little bit more efficient there on the manpower, or time efficient actually, so that it's not taking from each unit. There we go. Now I'm sieging down each of his 3 provinces. Keep in mind, of course, guys, if I was playing this game myself, I would be, you know, using my diplomats right now to improve relations and or fabricate. Now, interestingly, Anhalt has been claimed by Magdeburg, as Magdeburg has rivaled Anhalt. Now, I'll take a little look at this dynamic here. Magdeburg has an ally of Saxony. He is also in the Lübecken Trade League. However, Anhalt has no allies, of course, because he's involved in this war, and Magdeburg has claimed his province up. So let's take a little look here at what exactly is about to happen. I suspect that given some time here, Magdeburg will go ahead and declare his war on Anhalt. Let's see if that is exactly the case. And for that reason, I'm sitting here at war with Anhalt while we fight the other wars, to actually prevent him from obtaining any allies. Now Verdun, we can take his money, some war reparations, and try to gain some prestige, which of course is our mission. I'm up to 35 prestige. Not too bad. Oh, a nice negative event here. That's just what you need when you're trying to demonstrate something. So our other rival is, of course, Pomerania, who has Oldenburg as his friend. And we're going to keep that in mind, of course. Looking at Mecklenburg's rivals, he's being rivaled by Pomerania, Lubeck. Those are the two ones that are significant, who are actually fabricating on him. So Mecklenburg has now been attacked by Pomerania. Interesting stuff. We'll see exactly how that plays out. I'm now going to show strength over Mecklenburg, which of course is available using the Humiliate Rival CB. Very similar to Humiliate, except it costs 100% war score, and it gives you 100 of each monarch point. So take a good look at our monarch points here as they bump up. But that is not only the only thing that is bumping up. Of course, our power projection is now above 50, looking pretty nice. And for that reason, we will be gaining 1 to each monarch point each turn. So let's do the same thing here with Anhalt. I was hoping that he would be attacked by Magdeburg so I could demonstrate something, but it doesn't appear to be the case this time around. So within a few short years here, we have quite some power projection. We also have quite some monarch points, and we also have quite some army tradition. Now this is quite an appropriate time to let our war exhaustion, but also manpower recover a little bit. And Magdeburg has gone in against Anhalt. Interesting. That, I would say, is interesting. Looks like Pomerania is sieging down Stade. Let's go ahead and gain an ally for ourselves if we can. Now, needless to say, guys, I'm kind of looking to see how these wars between our rivals play out. Now inherited Nuremberg. Excuse me, Neumark, not Nuremberg. So that's pretty cool. Getting some of the basic luck, which is required to have a good game as Brandenburg. And let's go ahead and turn the speed up here. Okay, interesting. Now notice that Magdeburg actually took out Anhalt, which actually removed him from the Lubecken Trade League. However, we now have a valid rival slot that has freed up. So, by the looks of things, Brunswick has Friesland and Cleves, whereas Magdeburg has Saxony as an ally. Let's have a look at Saxony. Saxony and Magdeburg are little friends, are they? So why don't we go ahead and rival Magdeburg, which now gives us the CB against him. And of course, this is something that we would not be able to do, guys, if he was inside the trade league. But I'm now hiring more troops up to our current force limit after taking Neumark. And I'm going to go ahead and declare the Humiliate Rival CB on Magdeburg. Stack wiping his troops there. Fortunately, just before the Saxon troops come to reinforce. And now let's go in against Saxony. They currently have no troops, so what we're going to be hoping here is to carpet siege them. Trying to get some access here. Looks like all but this province here we can actually reach. We're lucked out a bit in the sense that Bohemia is not our rival this time around, so we may... Let's have a look. I think if we get access here, we can actually stand on each of Saxony's provinces. Perhaps not, perhaps not. I will see if I can get access through Wurzburg. I think actually I cannot quite stand on each of his provinces, but what I'm hoping naturally is to be able to peace out Saxony, preferably, yeah, we can't quite reach there, that's a shame, without actually having to, he's already medium. If we could just get out of war with him without actually having to take his fort, that would be kind of ideal. So let's see, as we take more occupations, he gets closer and closer. There it is. The nice white piece there. And now all we need to do is actually finish sieging down. What am I doing? These troops are exiled. Finish sieging down Magdeburg. So let's cancel some of our military access. We went a little bit crazy there. It's costing us Diplo relation slots. And considering we were 1 over, why don't we do some consolidating of our troops? That helps out our economy a little bit more. And yeah, let's go ahead and turn the speed up. Looks like this war is just Pomerania versus Mecklenburg. I would say it's just a matter of time until Mecklenburg has been dealt with by the... Yeah, there we go. So full annexation of Mecklenburg. Interesting situation played out there. Which means, of course, we now have another valid rival spot. Are you guys beginning to see a trend? Mecklenburg has been returned to the map. And we're going to go ahead and commence in piecing out with our third show strength peace offer. Within what? About 4 years. So we can already tech up, in fact. Interesting. Our power projection is over the cap. Well over. And if we have a look at our rival situation here, we have Bohemia, Brunswick, Saxony, and the Teutonic Order. So I shall consider Brunswick. I shall consider Brunswick. But first, just checking each month here, why don't we declare a war on Pomerania? And of course a Humiliate Rival CB war on Pomerania for that matter. We now have our nice mission completed, which gives us some monarch points for a change. We haven't been gaining many monarch points this game, have we, guys? Very nice. And of course we're going to have to separate piece Oldenburg this war, but why don't we first stack wipe Pomerania's troops here and carpet siege him up so that he is no longer able to hire any reinforcements. And then we will go deal with the one province miner here who appears to have only 4k. Now again, to reiterate, we actually have another valid rival option, and for that reason, because I only have 2 out of my 3 rivals, we are actually losing some power projection, but our power projection is well above 100, and it is going to be only further above 100. It is definitely capped out because we soon, as you can see, have a, what would this be, our 4th show strength peace deal coming down the line. So Oldenburg appears to have been stack wiped as well. I'm going to ensure that we do have enough troops there to siege that province down. So our manpower situation is not too good. I'm just overkilling it just a little bit. With 5 will do. And then let us sit in Pomerania with the speed up at 5. So of course having plus 50 power projection, guys, gives you 1 to each monarch point, which is probably the best bonus. And although currently we have not been hiring each advisor, it is as though we have been hiring those advisors due to the fact that we've been above 50 power projection. Now notice, guys, that Anhalt has rivaled us once again. Interesting. Nice event there of 50 power 50 diplo points. And that is the reason that I kept my valid rival slot open. So let's go ahead and continue on here. Nice. Both sieges have finished in a timely fashion. Take some money from Oldenburg. Also get our prestige as high as possible. Now we are very near to being capped on our admin here, so let's be a little bit careful. That'll put us at 986, that's fine. I'm going to quickly review my rival situation here. Bohemia, Brunswick, Saxony, and Anhalt. Now Anhalt appears to have quite some friends, but I think nonetheless he is the best rival option for us. Senior, Genoa, and Lundberg. Okay, so these guys are actually Italians. Well, there we go. So I actually have a truce with Magdeburg. I have a truce with Pomerania. I do not have a truce with Anhalt, guys. So this was nearly the perfect run. I wanted to demonstrate something else, which is that you can actually attack a nation like Anhalt while he does not have any allies, actually enabling one of his rivals like Magdeburg to annex him, and then when he actually respawns and recovers after the Emperor demands the province to be returned, he will then become potentially another valid rival option who you no longer have a truce with, allowing you to go straight back in with the Humiliate Rival CB, even though you otherwise should have a truce. So this is a war I could fight if I decided that I wanted to fight his enemies, but I actually have truce with the other factions. Now, as you can see, it's been what, it's been just over 5 years throughout the game, and we are just about capped with each monarch point. And I'm going to go ahead and tick up that for -5. The others I will take for -5. But of course we have a lot of power projection, a lot of monarch points to play with. And what I suggest that you do with your monarch points is do some nice development. I would at the very least focus on developing some of these provinces to size 10. And for the reason of them embracing the Institute more easily, the one that is coming along here. However, with that being said, I would also focus on resources like iron that have, right now we are the furthest ahead in Diplo considering we have ticked it up already. So I'm going to be spending some Diplo points here developing on iron, which is going to allow us, once we unlock some workshops, to gain more production, and once we gain some weapons manufactories for our production to go absolutely through the roof. Now I want you guys to notice that also I have 55 army tradition, with plenty of military points to spend on generals. Is Humiliate Rival CB garbage? You decide.